Isn't this so typical? The French foreign film that is the original of this movie is actually better than the American remake. The Dinner, starring Richard Gere, Steve Coogan, Laura Linney, Chloe Sevigny, Rebecca Hall, and Charlie Plummer. This movie is a small remake that opened on the same day as Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, this movie sucks. This is a terrible, terrible movie. The plot of this movie, or at least the American version, is you have Richard Gere playing a congressman who is running for governor of a state. I think it's the state of Pennsylvania because they mention Gettysburg a lot. Steve Coogan's character plays his brother, Paul Lohman. Richard Gere plays Stan Lohman. Paul Lohman is a history teacher, and in much of the movie he's talking about the Battle of Gettysburg. So I'm figuring it must be Pennsylvania that Richard Gere's character is running for governor of. Anyway, Stan Lohman and his wife, played by Rebecca Hall, and Steve Coogan and his wife, played by Laura Linney, go to dinner together, and their sons, Steve Coogan's son, played by Charlie Plummer, Mike, and Richard Gere's biological son, played by Seamus Fitzpatrick, Rick, do a horrific thing. They kill a homeless person who is sleeping in a ATM booth. No, Richard Gere's adopted son, Bo, played by Miles Harvey, saw what happened but then ran away when he saw that things were getting too bad. And someone takes a video of what happened and puts it up on the internet, and basically the Lohmans have to figure out what to do about this horrific event. They have to figure out, should they hold Rick and Mike accountable for their actions, or should they let them off? Should they just blame the homeless person because the homeless person was in their way? It's a lot of that's coming through this movie, is that some of the blame is being put on the homeless person. Yeah, the homeless person who's just sleeping there and is just an innocent victim. Now, I really like Richard Gere, I like Steve Coogan, I like Laura Linney, but this movie was terrible. The majority of the characters are so unlikable and so obnoxious. Richard Gere and Miles Harvey are the only two characters that are really likable characters in this movie. The rest of the characters, I don't give a damn about them. And Chloe Sevigny, who plays Richard Gere's first wife in flashbacks, is very forgettable, so I don't really care about her that much either, really. There's a character in this movie that's supposed to have mental health problems. I don't know if it's Steve Coogan's character or if it's the adopted black boy, Bo, because they're never really clear on who it is that has mental health problems that gives Richard Gere's character the inspiration to push this bill on mental health care that's supposed to be part of his platform. And it's just not a good movie. Since when would a homeless person sleep in an ATM booth when there are cameras in the ATM booth? Seriously, that just doesn't make sense either, and they don't even mention that fact in the movie, really. So this is just not a good movie. It is a very bad movie, and I certainly do not recommend the remake. I recommend the French original version that is on Netflix. I watched that, and that is a much better movie. Hell, it feels like an entirely different movie because there's more to the story and to the plot in the French version than there is to the remake, the American version. So I give the French version a B, and I give the American version an F. And that's all I gotta say for The Dinner.